Well, welcome to Green Architecture. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mr. Kushel. Look at my hand in the middle. I'll wave to you. And we're glad that you are coming along this journey that I call Green Architecture. It may have appeared on your schedule as GTT, Gateway to Technology. However, there is several classes called GTT that are offered. This one is called Green Architecture. So this will give you a bit of an overview. Excuse me. We'll talk a little bit about what our course entails. We'll look at our syllabus today, some expectations, some suggested tips to be successful in my class. So I'm going to start on our Schoology page today so we can start off getting familiar with that right away. First off, the way it's set up, I've got course information right here. So if you click on that, it gives you some information about all of my Project Lead the Way courses, which we'll learn a little bit more about and how I handle that. And let that load. And basically, you are getting to meet me, some for the first time today. Others may have met me in passing or in the community or maybe in school for one reason or another. But I am Mr. Kushel. I've been teaching here, I guess this is my 9th year. I have my email posted here for you. We call it virtual office hours, Mondays 1 to 3 or by appointment. Basically, if you email me, I'm going to make time for you. If we continue to be in the distance learning model, I will make time for you. So the key is going to be right here, using my email to communicate with me. Moving forward, the best way to get a hold of me is through email. And then reading things in Schoology. Make sure you're checking email every day, and we'll talk about that as we go along. So that's the first part. Other things inside of that course information would be my course syllabus, which we'll talk about in a couple minutes here. The next folder that you'll be using, basically, it's just 2 folders that you'll use in my class. That one, just to start with, and then we'll mostly spend our time right here. I use abbreviations a lot. GA means Green Architecture, so that's where our learning modules are for our winter trimester. So if we click on that, that'll jump us into our learning modules, and we are starting off right away in Module 1. We should be on December 7th. Hopefully you're checking in on this first day. And basically how I have it set up is the modules are listed with a link. So if you click on that, that takes us to our module. And from there, that's where we'll get into our learning material. So that's kind of how we get started. Got things set up, label them GAM1, meaning Module 1, and then the date range. This one starts today, December 7th, and my plan is we'll have this one completed by the following Monday, December 14th. I would like you to go on your own and look at the video. This will give you a little bit of an overview of something called Green Architecture, because I'm guessing that this is probably something new to you. So if you click on the link here, basically just click on that and click on the link, that will play a video for you. So I would like you to go back and do that. So here we are, first day of GTT Green Architecture. And to give you an overview of the class and what it's about, we're going to take a few of the things, kind of a presentation, and that's what we're doing right now. So I'm going to look at a first day PowerPoint with you, and this is here for you to reference. You're probably watching the video right here. Most of my videos I will do in the form of Edpuzzle, because I have no way of proving that you've watched my videos otherwise, and that's really how I'm going to be able to teach you, is by the videos. And the beauty of a video, you can watch and you can rewatch as you need to. So if you don't understand something, you can pause, make a note, you can resume, you can review it, maybe back up a little bit, rewatch something as you need it. So our first day PowerPoint is, this one right here, I'm going to click into, in fact, I have it opened already. So if you were in my classroom, this is what we'd be doing on day 1. I would be walking and talking you through a PowerPoint that explains what my course, Green Architecture, is all about. I'm going to put my picture up here. I think it's important when I make videos that you can see who's talking to you, so I try and put my picture in there for you as well. Let's see, get to a spot I can move forward. Now, what is PLTW? You're going to see that an awful lot. In fact, I have posters in my room. Sometimes the shirt I'm wearing, if you look a little closer, even right there. The shirt I'm wearing today has PLTW on it. PLTW stands for Project Lead the Way. And what it is, it's a leader in STEM education. I hope by now you've probably heard what STEM is, and that we know, hopefully, science, technology, engineering, and math. And what about that? Well, it's the application of all these things. You've taken math classes and science classes. Those, of course, are required. Um, we try and apply a lot of the math and a lot of the science concepts down here in PLTW classes. Many of you may have already had a PLTW class when you were over at WIS in your science class. You probably took a class with your teachers that I used to teach myself over here. It's called Design and Modeling, the one where you did some things with perhaps SketchUp. You probably did something with making a puzzle cube. A number of other fun activities were there. So what we do is we apply a lot of the math and science. Other things, Project Lead the Way also has a branch of biomedical and computer science. I focus on the engineering down here. I like to think of myself as a junior high and high school engineering teacher. All right, and we call what we do down here is activity, project, and problem-based learning, and we'll unwrap that more as we go. So a little bit about Project Lead the Way. I just like to give you a quick overview. We're down here in the GTT, kind of the bottom of the pyramid, where there are, like I said, there's several classes in GTT. We're doing green architecture. There is one that most of you have had called Design and Modeling. There's one called Aerospace. There's one on Electrons and Electricity. There's another one on Flight and Space. There's another one on Robotics. There are, like I said, about 12 different courses. We're kind of laying a foundation. And then if you want to come back for other courses, I also teach classes in Intro to Engineering Design. We do a lot with computer-aided design there. Another one called Principles of Engineering, a little heavier on the math and scientific principles applied to engineering. And then my highest level class is right here called Civil Engineering and Architecture, kind of a more of an expanded version of this class that you're in. We'll talk about something called the design process as we go through our class as well. My guess is in WIS, in Design and Modeling, you saw that already, so that shouldn't be brand new to you. Again, I would like you to go back and watch this video on your own, because there's one in here. I don't want to spend the time on the Edpuzzle, but there's a cool video in here that explains a little bit about green architecture. Gives you kind of a visual in video format, pictures and music about what does green architecture really look at. All right, so we always like to welcome you to the Industrial Technology Department. We say welcome to Industrial Technology, and I don't know why I have a question mark there, but I want to welcome you down here. There are several classes you can take with myself or my co-teacher down here, Mr. Janicki. I teach mostly engineering. Mr. Janicki teaches woods classes, electronics, and welding. From time to time, I get to teach a woods class as well. That's one of my hobbies that I love to do, so I enjoy teaching woodworking as well. Last year I taught woods. This year I will not, but that's other classes you can take down here. All right, moving along. Why industrial technology for you? Well, why do I get to take this class? Well, like I said already, it's kind of a application of math and science concepts. And we also talk about career and technical education. There are a lot of jobs out there that I can give you a set of skills that will prepare you, at least set you in the right direction to get you a really good job. So we're trying to open your eyes to see that there are new opportunities beyond what you've seen so far in school. What will I learn? Well, some of the basics, how to work with sketching and drawing floor plans, learning some of the symbols of housing, learn to calculate area and perimeter as it pertains to floor plans, maybe even your bedroom or parts of your house at home. If you're going to redo carpet, wallpaper, paint, things like that, how can you calculate and determine that? And then what is an engineer? We'll talk a little bit about that. You'll have a better idea by the time our class is done, what do engineers do. And then we'll learn about building and going green. Hopefully I hope you've heard of the term go green before, and we'll learn about that in our time together. And really it's becoming more and more environmentally conscious, thinking about how we can save our environment for future generations, for my kids, for your kids on down the line. And then you'll learn about how to use a CAD program. CAD is another abbreviation that I use, stands for computer aided drafting or computer aided design. And we're going to draw a floor plan for a house like you see right over here. So I'll teach you how to use, actually, we'll use SketchUp in our course. Some of you have already used SketchUp a little bit. We'll use it a little bit differently in our class, but gives you a very professional looking floor plan for a house. All right, let's move on a little further here. You'll learn how to, well, depends on if we're continuing to be in this distance learning hybrid mode. For sure, you'll learn how to draw a scale size wall like you have in your bedroom or your house. If we are able to come back into school full time, we get to actually build some miniature versions of walls or sheds. Kind of depends on how our learning models continue to move forward. So some of my class expectations, and I have to keep moving my picture around so it doesn't cover up my text. But some of the class expectations I want you to be aware of and familiar with is number one, check into Schoology every day. I will post an assignment. I call it a classroom expectation or class expectation. There will be something posted for you every single day, Monday through Friday, that we're in school. Okay, I won't post weekends, of course. I won't post holidays, but the days that you are scheduled to be a school student, there will be something on there for you to do. Maybe it's a one day activity, sometimes it's multiple day activities, but make sure you check Schoology every day. Check your email several times per day. This is how we are able to communicate. So I am going to really rely on you to check your email and then make sure you respond to me. That's a great way to get a hold of me if you need help or additional direction on something. You should plan on spending 30 to 45 minutes per day on this class. The way I think of it is like this. Normally, if we were in school, you would spend 47 to 49 minutes in my classroom, and then you would have anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes of homework many days. Okay? So I will try and limit it so you don't have more than 30 to 45 minutes of work per day, but you will need to do the work. Okay? So do your work every day. If you don't, it's going to make this class challenging, just like any other class. You need to keep up on the work because what we learn today, we'll need tomorrow. And what we learn the rest of this week, we'll need the following week. And what we learn next week, we'll need the next week and further into the trimester. So it's very, very important that you keep up and do your work as it's assigned. All assignments must be completed on time. If you aren't able to turn something in, please communicate that with me. And again, email is your best avenue for that. Make sure you let me know if something's going on where you can't turn things in on time. I'm just an email away. Communicate what's going on, and I will be more than flexible if I realize it's a legitimate reason. All right, moving on here. Let's take a look at our syllabus for our course here. These will be our goals and our objectives for green architecture. And I would like to have you show this to your parents, and you guys can fill it out and then have your parents put their name on the bottom. And I want this back by the 11th of December, which is Friday. It's worth 10 points. There is an assignment in Schoology that you'll have to use. I actually have got a link to it in the module, but you'll fill that out and submit it to me by Friday. So these are our goals and our objectives for our course. So if we look at our syllabus, first thing, a course description. I'm going to just read that with you so you get an idea what that's all about. This class is one trimester long and is taught to 8th grade students. You have grown up in an age of green choices. In green architecture, you will learn how to apply this concept to the fields of architecture and construction by exploring dimensioning, measuring, and architectural sustainability as you design affordable housing units. You'll use tools such as an engineering design process, an engineering notebook, architect scales and templates, and Google SketchUp software to learn, invent, and innovate. You will learn how to be creative in your thinking and problem solving and how that can change the world. All right, so about 3 units, 3 lessons basically. The first one we're going to spend some time is on the architectural basics. We'll learn the basics of architectural design, considering things as feasibility, cost, function, aesthetics, which basically means beauty. You'll learn how to use an architectural scale to accurately measure drawings and read architectural plans. I will get each and every one of you a paper version of something called an architectural scale. It looks like a triangular ruler if you look at it from the end. It's like a triangle, but it has, of course, with the triangle, it has three sides to it. So you learn how to use that to measure and draw things to scale. I'll get copies of those that I'll have out for you this week. I would like you to stop in already this week sometime. I have things out in the Commons for you to pick up. So please stop in, pick up your engineering notebook and your scale this week. I'll have them out. I plan by Tuesday. I will send an email to confirm that. All right, moving down then, you'll learn about planning residential spaces and the different systems in a house. And you'll learn how to read symbols found in architectural plans. You'll learn how to use materials that remain within a given budget. In the second lesson, we'll learn about sustainable architecture. What about sustainable architecture and what it means to us and our choices? We'll understand the importance of lifestyle decisions that could impact our environment. We'll learn about going green and how that can minimize the negative impact on our environment. And finally, our project. We'll get to the end where we'll have a couple projects in the last month. You'll learn to use Google SketchUp to develop high quality and accurate architectural designs, and you'll learn how to accurately build or at least draw a wall section that's 3/4 scale, and that'll make more sense as we move along. And you'll design a sustainable home using shipping containers. That's our final project. So we'll see how we progress with all of that. Procedures, expectations. You need to complete both the online and the in the face-to-face learning once we get back to that mode, which I hope is soon. Come prepared. If you have assignments that are due and you're in class, make sure you bring them in. If it's something that we're doing online, make sure you submit them on time. I'm going to slide down to this part called assessments and attendance because I want to tell you how I'm going to grade you. Your daily assignments are 20% of your grade. Okay, so we'll do a number of daily assignments. Some of them are a 1-day assignment, some of them are 2 to 3 day assignments, but that's 20% of your grade. You'll have just two quizzes or tests, maybe 3 throughout our time together. That makes up a category. That's 30% of your grade. And finally, we'll have, I think, at least 3 projects, and they consist of 50% of your grade. So half of your grade is based on projects. You'll be provided an engineering notebook. Okay, it's special to our class. It has the PLTW logo on the front and everything. If you lose it, you'll have to come up with another notebook. They're special because they have graph paper in them, which makes sketching and drawing a lot easier. You will need a special eraser. The ones I like to use, I call it a white high polymer eraser. If you look at this little guy, it's these white erasers. They work so much better than the green or the pink erasers because they don't shred your paper. So you'll want to have an eraser like that because you're going to do a lot of sketching and drawing in our time together. And then have yourself a folder to keep materials handy if we're in class. Otherwise, a lot of the online things, make sure you keep things organized. As we get further along, I would ask each of you to have a wireless mouse, something like this. You can get these at Walmart, about $10. They really make using your Chromebook a whole lot easier. So a mouse would be very helpful. Has to have this little roller wheel on it. Oh, I'm moving along here. But that will be very important once we get to our SketchUp mode. All right, so that's our syllabus. Again, it's due by the 11th, which is Friday, worth 10 points to you. Some tips for distance learning. Okay, this is Mr. Kuschel's take on what you can do to be successful in distance learning. And I'd like to share this with all of my students because whether it's you or whether it's me, there are certain things that we can all do that will make this a more manageable situation. I'll be real honest, this is hard for me too, okay? This isn't just hard for you students. Some of my days get really long because there's a lot more work goes into this than there is when you're here face to face. So the number one thing that I would suggest to you is get into a routine every day. And what do I mean by that? If you would normally get up to be to school by 8 o'clock, if you get up at 7 a.m., my suggestion, get out of bed at 7 a.m. on a regular basis. Okay, every day, the same thing. I'm talking Monday through Friday, or at least your school days. Okay, get into a routine. If you normally have my class from noon until 1 o'clock, from noon to 1 o'clock, please log into my class and try and do your work during that time frame. If you're normally with me 7th hour, which runs somewhere about 2 o'clock until 2:45, 2:50, that's when you should do that. And I would suggest you do that with all of your classes. Check your class calendars every day. Not just Mr. Kushel's class calendar, but all of your classes. Log into Schoology. Check the calendars. What do you have to do? Know what you should be doing. Number 3, put in the time every day. Normally, I think I mentioned this before. I may sound like a broken record, but that's okay. It's a good reminder. Normally, we would spend 48 to 49 minutes in class, plus you would have to complete homework at home for the next day. Distance learning should be very similar. I'll try and block out 30 to 45 minutes, no more than that each day. If you're staying on task, you do your things. If you're focused, you're not distracted, you should be able to easily get my work done in 30 to 45 minutes per day. Number 4, check your email multiple times per day. Please don't use the Schoology Gmail email thing. Schoology email is not very good. We have too many limitations with that. If you want me to help you, I can add pictures, I can add video to Gmail. So please use your Gmail multiple times per day, checking for information, communication from all of your teachers, not just me. Communication is the key, and I don't care whether it's school or home or sports or music teams and groups. The key is communicating with one another. Number 5, read your modules and instructions carefully and thoroughly. Reread it if you don't understand it, okay? Don't quickly ask me a question. Try and reread it. Oftentimes you may have misunderstood it because you read it too quick. Slow down, read a second time. Usually you'll catch on. 5A, please follow instructions. So many of the questions are there because someone just jumped forward without following instructions. They're thinking they know what to do without following. Okay, so follow the instructions that myself and other teachers give you. And finally, watch all the videos beginning to end. And that's partly why I use Edpuzzle quite a bit, as you'll find, is because too many times students don't watch my videos beginning to end, and then they get confused. Okay, so Edpuzzle is my way of requiring that you watch a video. If I give you an Edpuzzle to watch, that means it's very, very important. That's my teaching for the day. Okay, those are worth 10 points. Easy 10 points, but it's worth 10 points to watch my Edpuzzle videos. So please follow through and do that. And then I don't think I have it on here, but make sure you're logging in through the class link. So we're going into your Chromebook through class link. We're using Google. Okay. Those are my tips for success for distance learning. So that is your overview on green architecture. Glad that you're here. I hope we can learn some things together. I think I can teach you some new things in this class. So as we move along, that's basically today, is giving you a little heads up on it. And you'll notice the way my modules are set up. You'll see a lot of color code, bright green and bright yellow. Okay, the bright green means it's something you have to do. Okay, here it says, please watch. So you don't have to watch a video. Read through. So the key here, the action word is read. Okay, down here, items color coded in yellow, those are due dates. Okay, so if I put a due date in there, usually I'll color code that in yellow. Okay, as you move down, you'll see the same things. They're color coding of different things. Green means due, yellow means due date. So welcome to Green Architecture. I look forward to getting to know more of you. And these first few days will be just some warm-up activities to learn about you, learn how to navigate my course, learn how to log into a special website from Project Lead the Way. We call it the MyPLTW website. And there's your overview for Green Architecture. Look forward to working with you. If you have questions, remember, email is your key way to talk to me. All right, guys, gals, look forward to meeting you, working with you, and hopefully seeing you soon. See you now. Take care. Thanks for watching.